Welcome to the Dray Way. Yes, I'm not at my usual spot. The music has been turned on. I was on the phone with a friend for over an hour, so it put my show time behind. So, yeah, I'm doing the show from this spot. Hopefully, you'll like this spot. I'm just hanging out here ready to give you guys a good show. So, instead of me yakking, let's get started with the show. Let's go! Welcome to the Dray Way. Yes, starting next week, the show will be on the road. Yeah, the show will be done from different spots. Here I am in Vegas, and Michael had a very good idea. One of the people that watches the show had a good idea, said, hey, why don't you show us Vegas? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. But what I want to talk about today in the part one of the Dray Way is I want to talk about this big, beautiful bill that is going to devastate red states. And no one seems to be talking about it. States like Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, these states heavily depend on Medicaid and the SNAP program. And these states don't exactly have the money because the federal government is saying, hey, with the SNAP program, yeah, we're going to start pulling back on what we do. And yeah, it's going to be more of the responsibility of the states to fund SNAP. And these states like Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, yeah, they struggle to have money. I mean, should I go down the list? Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. Yeah, all these states struggle. They don't have surplus money to be throwing around for a food program. And this is something that we've got to talk about because I want you to understand what's going on here. We are literally talking about cutting SNAP, cutting Medicaid, people that are the poorest, people that are the hungriest. We're going after their food. We're going after their health care. And what are we getting in return? Taking this from them, who benefits? This is all being done so that rich people can get a tax cut. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. That's all this is for. We want to cut programs that feed Americans. We want to cut programs so that Americans have some health care. We want to cut that so people have next to nothing. And who gets the benefit? Rich people. And all I want to know is when are we going to stop taking care of these rich people? When are we going to stop giving rich people money? Because we just can't seem to stop it. You know, every time a so-called rich person goes to build a business or do something in town, oh, we got to give them huge tax breaks. Oh, we have to give, this abatement and that abatement and just endless again and again and again and again and again. And who ends up paying for that? Yeah, you and I do. But this is really serious this time because this bill is just awful. It's just terrible. And it's going to cost people their hospitals. What do you think a lot of these senior care homes and stuff like that, how do you think they survive? They survive on payments from Medicaid. And they're talking about when this bill passes, 25% of all nursing homes may have to close. 1 out of 4. Does anybody have a solution for what we do with those people then? Anybody? Does anybody have a solution? I can tell you right now, Republicans don't have a solution. Republicans aren't saying, hey, yeah, this may close down, but, we can do this instead. Nothing. Zip, zero. Same thing with food. I mean, red states heavily depend on the SNAP program. Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, West Virginia. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many of these people are on food assistance? And the government that you voted for those of you in red states, a lot of you voted for this. And they're literally going to be taking food out of your mouth. They're literally going to make sure you eat less. And I just don't even know what to say because you voted for this. You voted for rich people to get more money and for you to get less. Yes, you did. You voted Republican. You voted for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is going to take care of his rich friends. You are not one of his rich friends. I hate to break it to you guys that live in red states. You are not the Republicans' friends. They don't like you. You're not rich. They don't want anything to do with you. I don't see Donald Trump walking around Indiana, Kentucky, inviting you to Mar-a-Lago. There's a reason. You're not rich, and he doesn't give a damn about you. He doesn't care at all. Republican Party doesn't care about you. They just scare you at election time. Oh, these transsexuals, these people are, coming after you. The border, oh, they're coming after you. What are you talking about? Do you want to compare the number of crimes done by people crossing the border compared to the yahoos that are here with guns killing people left and right? What are we talking about? Why are we letting rich Republicans tell the rest of the country, rich Republicans that basically you're talking about 1% of the population is controlling this country right now? Because they convinced enough of you in red states that, yeah, vote for us and you will somehow benefit, which you do not. You do not benefit whatsoever. You guys keep voting for Republicans. They're taking away your hospitals. They're taking away your freaking food. They're taking away your food. SNAP is being cut. SNAP money is going to go back to the states. States that can't afford what they're doing. Even Texas doesn't have the money to supply food to food banks. Food banks are stretched to their limit in Texas. So how do you think it's going to be in other red states? Red states, you're about to experience horrific things. This bill is going to pass, and it's going to devastate red states. You're going to lose food, and you're going to lose your hospitals. And I know you're going to complain, and you're going to have a fit about it, but I want you to remember, you voted for this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. You guys have put me over 38,000. I can't thank you enough. Let's push forward to 40,000. If you're not a subscriber yet, it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you every day. There's a new show here every single day, and part 2 is coming up next. From time to time, I talk about real estate. I've been involved in real estate for decades, and I don't talk about real estate when real estate's not a viable thing to be talking about. And I've tried to talk very little about real estate in the last few years because I've said at the top of my lungs, now is not a good time to buy. Starting in 2022, no. 2023, no. Not a good time to buy. Terrible time to buy. You're buying at a peak, and things are going to crash. They always do. This is what happens, And I wanted people to understand that. I wanted to tell people this. I wanted to get that message across because now is the time, even with Donald Trump in office, even with his stupid policies, he's not going to be able to stop business from doing business. Because when things get too bad, business just calls the White House and says, hey, enough's enough. And the White House goes, oh, okay. So I keep telling people real estate is a bad investment, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you a perfect example. How much did you make in real estate this year? You know what I've made on Netflix in the last year? My money has doubled. Yeah, I've made pretty close to 100%. DoorDash, over 100%. Just those two stocks. I'm not even talking about Nvidia or some of the other stocks. I'm just saying those two stocks right there. In 1 year, over 100%. Now, where are you doing that in real estate? You're not. Real estate in a lot of places is going down. And it's going to continue going down for years. For years. Meanwhile, if you don't own Costco, if you don't own DoorDash, if you don't own Netflix, if you don't own Kroger, if you don't own some of these stocks, you're crazy. And you're going to be missing out on huge upsides for years. Now, do you think real estate's going to be doing 100% anytime soon? No. Do you think real estate's going to be keeping up with these super stocks? No. Nowhere close to it. So you have to understand when real estate is a good investment and when it is not. And right now, it is not a good investment. 7+% interest rate with these prices, it's not a good investment. It's a bad investment. And people that have bought recently, a lot of those people, many of them, because prices have gone down all along the South, are now underwater. Yeah, they're not, they can't sell their house for what they paid for it. Crazy, right? But that's where we're at. And that's why, you're going to notice on this show, we are going to talk a lot more about gold and the stock market than we are about real estate. Because real estate is not a place to be right now. Real estate is not a place where people are getting rich. Real estate right now is a place where people are going broke. They're going broke because insurance is climbing, taxes are climbing, HOA fees are climbing, and people are drowning. 1 out of every 3 people that has purchased a house in the last 3 years regrets doing it and wish they could give it back. It's actually more than 1 out of 3. Wishes they could give it back and never buy the house. And that's because of timing. That's because never listen to a real estate. Oh, this is a great time to buy. Never listen to a real estate agent. The real estate agents, thankfully, are going away. Thankfully, because now AI, with AI, you don't need a real estate agent for any reason. If you want to look over a contract, an agreement, or anything else like that, let AI do it. You don't need a real estate agent for any reason whatsoever. AI is replacing them fast. and frankly, it's about time, because real estate agents are the ones that have made it so expensive just to buy and sell a house. Because they think they deserve this massive commission, and they don't. And now AI is simply getting rid of them, and you don't need them. In fact, our company shows you how to buy and sell for $1,500. We have a flat rate, $1,500, and we show you exactly how to sell your house. Yeah, because selling your house for 6% is insane. And thankfully, AI's come a long way, and thankfully, technology has come a long way. No one should sign up for selling their house for 6%. That's ludicrous today. And if you've done it, shame on you. You're giving away money. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I know I could talk about it all day, but I want to get to the final subject of the day. Part 3 coming up right here on the Dray Way. Don't go anywhere. Like I told you yesterday, I believe the guy's name is Michael. He had a very good idea. He said, Drayton, you're in Vegas. We would like you to show us around Vegas. Why don't you take your show on the road? So next week, I will be taking the show on the road, and we will be doing the show in front of, let's just say, in front of some Las Vegas landmarks that you may or may not be familiar with. And I think it's an excellent idea that he had. And, I forget, because when you're here in Vegas, and you live here, the first thing you do is take the weather for granted, because the weather is just I mean, every day. Let's see if I can take you like this and go like this. Every day is just gorgeous blue skies. Every single day. It is just absolutely gorgeous outside, you know? And it having used to I used to live in Florida for years. Florida was so different because you had to worry about the weather constantly. What time is it going to rain today? When's it going to rain today? Is there a thunderstorm, a lightning storm? Is a hurricane coming? Is a tornado coming? I mean, and just one thing after another after another. Where here, it's going to be sunny and warm today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And it's just day after day of beautiful sunshine. And everybody goes, well, it gets really hot in the summer. What are you talking about? Yesterday and the day before that, it was hotter in Toronto than it was here. So it's hot in the summertime period. I don't care where you're at. It gets hot in the summer. But I would not trade this consistent weather day after day after day for anything. And that's definitely why I love Las Vegas. I love living here. I've lived a lot of other places. I love the fact that you just don't have to worry about the weather here. But anyway, it's going to afford me to be able to go on the road. I don't have to worry about the weather or anything else like that. I can take you guys on the road and show you some amazing things around Las Vegas because believe me, there's a lot to show you, and I can't wait to do it. So get ready. Next week, the Dray Way goes on the road, and I'll be showing you some pretty cool spots. Some spots you may recognize, some spots you may not. But I hope you'll come along. That's it for the Dray Way today. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. It's not going to hurt you. And there's a new Dray Way each and every day. So I hope you come back and see me again tomorrow. So have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Dray Way.